May 5, 2025. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith steps up to the podium and delivers a speech that could reshape Canada's political landscape. She spoke about billions in lost revenues, Ottawa's control over Alberta's future, and even opened the door to a referendum on separation. In this video, we'll break down the speech in detail, with real quotes, commentary, and what it all could mean. Smith starts strong. She paints Alberta not just as a province, but as a pillar of the nation's economy.
Our province has contributed hundreds of billions of dollars more to the federal treasury for use in other parts of the country than we'll ever receive back in benefits. We have allowed this to occur because, quite frankly, we know how blessed our province is with an endowment of natural resources that no other country on earth possesses. And we want all of our friends, families, and fellow Canadians across the country to benefit from it. We don't ask for special treatment or handouts. We just want to be free to develop and export that incredible wealth of resources we have for the benefit of our families and future generations. Free to pursue opportunities with the ideals of entrepreneurship, hard work, and innovation that have become synonymous with the name of our province. Freedom to choose how best to provide healthcare, education, and other needed social services to our people, even if it's done differently than what Ottawa has in mind. Strong and free is more than just our provincial motto. It represents who we are and how we want to live as a people. And that is why Albertans are so frustrated with the direction of our country.
She reminds viewers of Alberta's role in funding national programs, even while facing policy roadblocks from Ottawa. It's a message of pride, but also frustration. Then came her proposed solution, a new Alberta Accord. She laid out a list of demands: repeal of Bill C-69, removal of tanker bans, greater autonomy over taxation, pensions, immigration, and resource development.
As a start, I will soon appoint a special negotiating team to represent our province in negotiations with the federal government on the following reforms requested by our province. We hope this will result in a binding agreement that Albertans can have confidence in. Call it an Alberta Accord, if you will. First, Alberta requires guaranteed corridor and port access to tidewater off the Pacific, Arctic, and Atlantic coasts for the international export of Alberta oil, gas, critical minerals, and other resources in amounts supported by the free market rather than by the dictates and whims of Ottawa. Every province in the country, other than Alberta and Saskatchewan, have coastal port access, and no province needs it more given the size and value of our resources. This will benefit all Canadians to the tune of trillions of dollars of economic activity, including billions for First Nations partners. Second, the federal government must end all federal interference in the development of provincial resources by repealing the No New Pipelines Law, C-69, the oil tanker ban, the net zero electricity regulations, the oil and gas emissions cap, the net zero vehicle mandate, and any federal law or regulation that purports to regulate industrial carbon emissions, plastics, or the commercial free speech of energy companies. These laws are destroying investment confidence and costing Canada and Alberta hundreds of billions in investments each year. They need to go.
This isn't just politics, it's negotiation with Confederation itself. In a surprise turn, Smith addressed the United States directly. She warned that proposed U.S. tariffs, like Trump's floated 25% duty on oil, would backfire.
Third, the federal government must refrain from imposing export taxes or restrictions on the export of Alberta resources without the consent of the government of Alberta. Frankly, all provinces should be given that same respect for their resources.
It was part message, part warning. Alberta is watching and won't stay silent. Now comes the most controversial part. Smith confirmed that if Albertans organize a citizen-led petition with enough valid signatures,
and specifically, what next steps we can take as a province to better protect Alberta from any current or future hostile policies of the federal government. Details of the membership and scope of that panel will be released in the coming weeks. After the work of the panel is finished, it is likely we will place some of the more popular ideas discussed with the panel to a provincial referendum so that all Albertans can vote on them sometime in 2026.
But she clarified, still, she won't block the vote if the people demand it.
To be clear from the outset, our government will not be putting a vote on separation from Canada on the referendum ballot. However, if there is a successful citizen-led referendum petition that is able to gather the requisite number of signatures requesting such a question to be put on a referendum, our government will respect the democratic process and include that question on the 2026 provincial referendum ballot as well.
To make sure the public is heard, Smith announced the Alberta Next panel. This team will visit towns and cities across the province, gathering real input on Alberta's next steps.
I also want to state unequivocally that as Premier, I'm entirely committed to protecting, upholding, and honoring the inherent rights of First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples. Therefore, any citizen-initiated referendum question must not violate the constitutional rights of First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples, and must uphold and honor Treaties 6, 7, and 8, should any referendum question ever pass. This is non-negotiable.
It's a strategic move. Engage the people early, give them ownership in the process, and build momentum from the ground up.
More and more Canadians understand that in order for Canada to play a role in ending conflict and poverty at home and abroad, our country must become strong again. And we can only do that by becoming an energy and economic superpower using the vast and unmatched energy, mineral resources, and fertile lands of our country.
In closing, Smith made it clear, this speech wasn't about picking fights. It was about reasserting Alberta's role in shaping its own destiny.
Alberta didn't start this fight, but rest assured we will finish it and come out of it stronger and more prosperous than ever.
But many are now asking, is Alberta on a path to greater autonomy or on the road to going it alone? What do you think? Are these reforms overdue? Is the referendum a real possibility or political pressure tactics? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Canadian political updates.
May our beautiful Alberta always remain forever strong and free.